There we
Finally.
go. All right. God damn.
Yeah.
I can't tell if those guys are leaving, um, that are working on this house next door or what, but it sounds like they closed the garage door to leave. So, fuck all that noise and
Wait, say it again?
shit. So, you know how I was saying earlier, I had my neighbors that just moved, my right next door.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, I live in like a duplex, so they were working on the garage, which is right next to our garage, and it was loud as fuck. Sound like they were fucking murdering somebody in there. I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Honestly, a good
But
cover.
it just stopped. So it's like maybe they're gone. I don't know. They may start back up at some point. They may not. I honestly have no fucking idea. Um, but at the end of the day, you just gotta go ahead and pay that subscription so we can get this shit off the ground.
Zoom.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Zoom required. Required in blood
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, it's been a while where like paying for a subscription for something like this, it just didn't make sense at the time. But like
Yeah.
right now, whatever. Um, it's just been like a week trying to get this shit done, just about. I don't even remember all these fucking names. I'm gonna have to look at my notes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I
fucking
never remember
characters.
their names.
Like immediately a lot of fucking characters. Like, god damn. Um, I guess let's just kind of jump on into it. So we're talking
Yeah.
about the
I got
descent.
it. Back.
We've been trying to get it done for like a week. It's kind of been hell. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so forgive me if I don't remember some of these names.
All good.
Like I said, it's been about a week or so trying to get this shit done. Um,
I get
but
you.
I took fairly extensive notes. So movie opens up, they're like uh water rafting or whatever the fuck. I don't know the technical term for it. Um, what is it,
Wait, what?
five or six? It's like five or six women. They are just kind of frozen.
I'm not sure if our connection's real good right now. I only see you frozen in place. I couldn't really hear
Yeah,
what you
you were
were
frozen.
asking. There you go. All right. It's
You were
updated.
you were frozen in place for a bit
Gotcha.
too. I guess let me put my Wi-Fi
Okay.
in out here. I'm not out here often. Um, turn that shit back off. Okay, now you're back. It was just a black screen for a bit. Well, can you hear me now or no?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
hear you.
okay. All right.
I was just a black screen.
Yeah, yeah, for a good little like 15 seconds there.
All right, tell you what, let me check something. Tell me if this changes my video or if it still stays the same. Can you still hear me and see me?
No, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay. I was gonna try and see if I could like basically turn off, like just like lock my phone if the camera would still continue. Because I feel like that
Oh,
would be less data for my phone, not having to play the video. But
yeah. Um, but yeah, I was just saying you want to just kind of, I guess, just jump into the play-by-play spoilers and everything.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So,
I got it pulled up right now. I'm 46 seconds in on my end. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if I
I was
counted the
gonna have
ad
it
very
pulled up
much
in the
though.
perfect world, like, yeah, in the perfect world, I would have it kind of in the background, like maybe sped up two or three times. Uh,
Yeah.
but for right now, I'm in the garage. I just have my somewhat extensive notes. Um, so yeah, there's the opening water raft scene. Um, which honestly, there was a part
Yeah.
of that where I thought they looked scared as fuck for like a good little while there. Like they were having fun, and then I was like, it's something. I kind of thought something was gonna happen in the water. But I think I was just like their faces or whatever. I don't fucking know. Um, like it almost
Yeah.
looked like
I
they kind
I
of
get the
like
feeling they're
they,
just trying to establish their group that does crazy shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think I probably read too much into that, and it was just them trying to show that they were, like you say, just kind of out there doing some pretty wild shit. Um, one thing though,
Outdoorsy ladies.
I thought it was very obvious that um that the husband was cheating with Gina.
Yeah,
I
I think that
thought
that might be a. I was
that
gonna
made
say, I
me
think that
want.
that might be a movie effect where they're like, we got like one scene with this guy before he dies. Like, how can we fucking make it evident that he's a cheater? So they like
Yeah,
leaned
it
into it
was
really hard.
like yeah, it seemed pretty obvious for it to be such a big reveal later. Like it seemed I was just kind of like, I mean, like after the rafting act or like the
Yeah,
little boat trip or whatever, when Juno falls out. And like he goes to help her and he's like helping her take her helmet off and shit. And I'm just like, is nobody else seeing this? Like, why is he doing all of that? And then they get in the car and Sarah is like talking to their daughter, which of course I don't remember her name right now, but she was talking to her daughter about planning a sleepover or some shit for her birthday coming up. And
yeah,
even then the husband's face, he was
okay.
just like he just looked miserable. Like he
Yeah,
just hated life.
yeah.
And then she even mentioned that he looked distant or whatever. Um, and then
Hmm.
like right into the very first kills of the movie, like very Final Destination type shit.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yep, I was gonna say that.
even though I felt like it was kind of that's another complaint I have. The car accident. Um, it just seemed like the cars were going like the car that was coming towards them was going so slow that I don't know. They
Yeah,
had to have. I mean, they didn't show inside the other car. I mean, it's just kind of left to assume that maybe the person in the other car also wasn't paying attention. But I was like, it seemed kind of stupid, like he just
yeah,
kind of ran into him. But it
yeah,
was a great shock factor. It was a great opening scene. Like the that death was fucking literally
yeah,
like a scene from Final Destination 2. It was pretty fucking gruesome.
yeah,
I
yeah,
even wrote down that I was unclear whose fault the accident even was. Like it just kind of seemed weird, and I wrote effective scene because it was just kind of like oh fuck, and then Sarah waking up in the
yeah,
hospital. That was the name of the girl who the movie's really about, in my opinion. It's really about Sarah, um, but
yeah,
her waking
for
up in the
sure.
hospital was a pretty badass scene. Like the green lighting and shit, and then like the room getting darker as she's running through, kind of
Hmm.
looking for her daughter, not because she doesn't know that she's dead yet. And I mean, we don't either technically, but because it looked like a dream, but she runs out of like the hospital doors and she runs into and this is where I don't remember their names, but I think she ran into either Rebecca or Sam, one of the sis. No, it was I think it was Beth that she ran into um in the hospital. So I was like, oh, it wasn't a dream. She was actually up and running through the hospital. But I think the green lighting and then the darkness closing in on her was the darkness closing in on her was kind of like supposed to show um like her mind, like her kind of like panicking, um, more than it was supposed to be like a
Right.
dream fake out, or it kind of supposed to be both. Um, so she runs into Beth. They like embrace or whatever, and we get like the notion that the daughter is dead because during the car crash, we know the husband is dead like immediately. That shit was nasty.
Yeah.
Um, so we cut to Beth and Sarah uh, driving out to the cabin where they're supposed to meet the other girls for this hiking trip, which is sort of put together by Juno in a sense to help Sarah grieve or get back into climbing or inspiration, what may have you. Fuck, let me take these headphones off because they're, well, I think just this one is low. I want to hear that shit all night. Um, but yeah, they're going out there to help Sarah get over the tragedy of their last event, which I thought jumping right into a cave dive was just like kind of an insane way to get over that when you're still having panic attacks and shit like that. But I mean, I
Yeah.
get it. We need a reason for them to go there. A little bit of plot armor. Um, you kind of get the
Yeah.
notion in the
And
car
then
ride too that Juno was a shit friend. What's up?
I was gonna say, I think that the whole like Juno reveal that like it's an unexplored cave that no one has named. Like that's the only thing that like
Yeah,
makes the spelunking and the choice make any sense. So, like she had to talk them all into it or something.
yeah, yeah.
Because
And
yeah,
even
I would not.
here,
Yeah.
yeah, she because she tells them it's like a tourist attraction, like it's a cave that's been explored already or whatever. But like as we find out, she was lying and it hasn't been explored yet. So
Mhm.
um, kind of a shitty thing to do to people already. And then like Sarah even mentions that like, Juno is always dragging us to like the middle of wherever the fuck. And then Beth kind of is like, well, like she did come to Scotland, and Sarah was like, yeah, but she left like right the fuck away. And I caught the Scotland reference on the second watch, but like the first watch, I guess I missed that sentence. So I was like, later on, I was like, what the fuck are these accents? Like, where is this shit coming from all of a sudden? But
Yeah.
so I guess
Yeah.
I missed that on the first watch. I was also trying to take notes and shit, so it's a fucking lot to do. Uh, Nothing really crazy happens here, which was another complaint of mine. They didn't really give these girls anything to do except like they tried to showcase like a generic like girl like friendship with them hanging out or whatever, but they didn't really have anything to do to the point. And it was just so many characters, just like five of them, I believe, that I didn't even uh like I just completely lost my thought. I didn't even like I wasn't able to keep up with who was who just because
Same.
they no one had any like really like nobody has any
Just
personality it really except for Juno is wild as fuck and then her protege as they called her Holly. They're the only two that I was able to like really differentiate between the whole friend group at first. Which is why I watched it a second time because I was just like I couldn't really keep up with who was who. And then upon the second watch, I also realized that Rebecca and Sam were sisters. I didn't catch that either. Um, but it's just because they didn't really give them much to do. They were just a lot of them just kind of hanging out and then like Holly being crazy. I will say I did make note that Holly had the most character out of all of them. She was just like a wild younger version of Juno, essentially. Um, he even wrote, I mean, girls are basically just hanging out, preparing for the climb. Uh, it's just that. Oh, Holly and Sarah or Holly and Sam sneak out to the porch to smoke a joint at some point, and they get caught by Juno, who doesn't really say anything. Like, but I mean, like that was, I mean, that's about it. And then once again, like again, it's just Holly that had something going on. No one else really did. Um,
Mhm.
Sarah has a nightmare, which I was prepared for it to be another like fake out, but it was an actual nightmare that was a pretty good jump scare sequence. So it goes from that to the morning of the event where I tried to zoom in. I couldn't really see what she was taking, but Sarah takes some kind of pills, to which we see later she is like high as fuck, and she's the one that's driving and just like doing risky shit and fucking around, and Holly is just kind of like Holly is just kind of like encouraging it or whatever. um I did skip over this note that the photo shoot they all took on the porch was like it felt very like Blair Witch, like it goes to shit immediately after this, like you like it was just kind of stamping it that something
Mhm.
bad was going to happen
Yeah.
to them or that they were all going to
Right.
die.
Yeah.
Um, what else is on here?
I got it
Yeah,
pulled up. But
while they're driving to the location, Sam and Rebecca are talking about this watch and how some dude bought it for Sam, and Holly kind of talks shit on the watch, and then Sam mentions that the buttons are too small for her to set the timers right or whatever, like to actually set it up the right way. And she can't get it to work, which I was just like, oh, I wonder if that will get them in trouble later. The fucking watch making noise, I
yeah.
bet. Um, so that was kind of the giveaway, a little bit of foreshadowing. Them just kind of harping
Mhm.
on how the watch doesn't work. Um, they arrive at the location and we see Juno hide the map in the car. Uh, which I kind of think maybe if they hadn't shown that, I don't think I would have shown that early. But there also wasn't a whole lot going on. Like I said, these girls don't have a whole lot of personality or too much going on to me personally.
Yeah.
So I think they needed to hurry up and get us drawn back into the movie, possibly. But
Yeah.
I would have just the way she revealed that she didn't bring the map or really know where they were later. I think that's enough without kind of spoiling that she's hiding the map. Um, just a small complaint, nothing really crazy. And I'm gonna try to read my own handwriting in this. Oh yeah, they start hiking towards the location, and Rebecca starts going over. And see, I couldn't differentiate them. I have somebody else's name written here, so clearly on the second watch, I scratched out someone's name and wrote Rebecca, so I figured it out. But Rebecca starts reassuring everyone uh for their concerns or whatever that Juno has very specific rules that she follows when she hikes. Um, let me get back in this fucking light. Rebecca starts going over Juno's rules, stating that Juno has already scouted ahead. So I was just like, God damn, this is a lion ass bitch. She is told him that she scouted ahead and had a route already too, which is kind of a wild thing to do. And then Rebecca just starts listing some dangers of um, cave exploration, cave exploration, and being so far underground for so long. Some of the side effects were, and then I wrote again, foreshadowing, obviously,
Yeah.
dehydration, disorientation, panic attacks, paranoia, and hallucinations. So I was just like, yeah, it's a bit more foreshadowing, letting us know what we're getting into. Then they come across this big ass like dead moose, which was another bad omen to me. I was just
Yeah,
like, yes,
yeah.
it just kind of seems like y'all should turn the fuck around. Um,
Yeah.
what I thought was weird too was that it was just killed, like nothing ate it, nothing like, you know what I mean? Like it was just kind of dead there, which I thought
Wasn't
was
scavenged.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Holly is excited to take pictures of it. Holly's the wild card as we see. Everyone else is grossed out, and Holly just like can't wait to pull her camera out and start taking pictures of it. Scene cuts. In my notes, I have now we descend, right? So they've come to the edge of the cave they're going to explore and they start going down it. Holly is already just like doing way too much, coming down the rope way too fucking fast to the point that Juno has to tell her, hey, like, you need to chill the fuck out. Um, it's going to be dangerous or whatever. You need to be listening to me still. And after she gets on to Juno about being a show off, Sarah gets freaked out and has like a wild panic attack because of some bats. And I don't know if no one told Holly what happened with Sarah or why they were out there, which you would assume somebody would, but Holly is just this whole movie, Holly seems confused as to why Sarah is like freaking out about shit because the bats freak her out and then Holly makes the Sesame Street joke and she's like the whole one bat, two bat thing like fucking around, picking at Sarah a bit, which I was just like, did nobody tell this bitch like what like what is going on like while they're out there? Watching them crawl through some of the tight spaces that I wrote down, they did a good job of making me feel claustrophobic. Just the fact that crawling on your belly like that through those tight spaces is just something they just um, are just ready to do over and over again to get through here. Um, They get to a stopping point. I wrote red flare. I wrote loved it. Obviously, I was trying to just like keep it short so I could keep watching it. But it was kind of
Yeah.
reminiscent of Pitch Black, but it was green in Pitch Black though. There was lots of green flares in that movie. A bit of red, but lots of dark green, which there's some in this movie too with the green effect, but yeah, I just like the way the background looked with the red flare going. It was just very like 2000s old movie coded. And oh yeah, Sarah starts to hear um like the laughter of like a child. Um and I wrote she hears Jessica is obviously what she thinks, which is her daughter that died. Try forgot her name too because it's been a few days. And then she kind of looks around investigating the laughter, and then Juno, for like I said, she's just like not a good person. Even accidentally, like she quietly sneaks up behind Sarah to get her attention and just like scares the shit out of her. Which I mean, it was a good jump scare because when she turned around, I thought she was going to see what was making the laughing noises, but it was just Juno. But yeah, that's about it. And then like there's a break where they're kind of sitting there eating and just like resting and the trip is for her to like kind of be happy and get back out there. I did know it was weird that everyone kept bringing up how sorry they were about Jessica and I forget the husband's name, but about them dying. Like everybody keeps bringing it up, and then Sarah got a bit pissed.
Yeah, actually, I got it on in the background right now, and the red flare go across the ceiling scene. But what I was about to get into is that, well, there have definitely been a lot of bad things about the Marvelification of movies over the last, 15, 20 years. But at the same time, this is a movie where I just had the feeling that like I wanted more lighthearted character moments to like give them something better. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
Okay.
I
All right.
would have been cool with these
Make
characters
that point
being,
again.
yeah.
Oh,
What I
something
was saying
happened
is
with the
that I
audio
feel
over
like,
here.
gotcha. I feel like the Marvelification of movies in a lot of ways has been a bad thing. But at the same time, like this movie could have benefited from character interactions that had more wit and like comedy and just like more
Yeah.
distinct character moments coming from that. Because it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Yeah, there just wasn't a whole lot going on with them. The characters are kind of flat. I mean, they're a movie like this, these characters are they have just enough character to them to to be entertaining kills later. Like we just really need a reason to get
Yeah,
them in this cave with these creatures, and there's five or six
yeah,
of them. So I mean, like there's a room for a lot of good kills. I mean, in movies like this, they're really just here to be bodies. Um, not really. I guess they're not
right.
really supposed to have too much character, but it would be dope to have given a fuck if they were dying though. Um,
Yeah,
or have them do like really funny, stupid shit until where I don't care that they're dying. Um, but this was like kind of in the middle. It was just like they served the purpose of um being good kills, I thought. A little bit too Sarah's really well, I mean, one of them has a pretty big moment later. They do something really neat with her. Twice actually they do something with her. But everyone else it was just kind of like, eh. Um, but before that weird what happened? Did your phone die or what was it?
just the Zoom call stopped connecting. Like it just,
Uh,
I'll send you a screenshot.
that's
I was gonna
weird. So
text.
like your phone is always dying, but so is mine too.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I didn't take it.
fuck,
Basically,
bro.
it was just saying connecting, and it wasn't actually connected. And dropped the phone
Oh,
call.
okay, that's not a big deal. Then let me see.
Yeah.
It should be still recording. Let's go here. Pause or stop. So yeah, it's still recording. All right. Um, before that happened, we were talking about. Oh yeah. Sarah kind of like got mad at everybody for babying her, bringing up the event and all this shit. I even wrote that the like fun trip isn't really the place to keep bringing that shit up. Um, and
Yeah.
then Sarah, she gets mad and announces that she's going to go off and look for like the next whatever the next passage. And I just noted too that Rebecca stated that they're not supposed to wander off. That was like one of the rules. I don't think I said it necessarily earlier, but that was like one of the big rules, or like I think that was rule number one was like don't wander off. And then Sarah like announces that, hey, I'm gonna go wander off and look for something. So I
Yeah.
just thought it was funny that she does that. Kind of made me think about Scream as well with Never Say I'll be back when the
Yeah.
with Stu saying he'll
Yeah.
be back
Yeah.
mockingly. It made me think of that too. So I got a corny little laugh out of that.
Yeah.
After she walks off, Holly immediately asks what's wrong with her. To the point again, like no one they must have not filled her in, which is weird to do. Like, why would you bring a random person there, not tell them like what this trip is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Holly was the only one. She was one when she died. I kind of was happy because I was like, Holly's kind of Juno 2.0. She's kind of dumb too and just doesn't listen. So Sarah finds the next passage and it's crawling through a smaller hole than what they've been doing. I wrote in parentheses, fuck that. Um, Also, shout out to As Above, So Below. Even though this came out first,
Always.
all the crawling made me think about that movie. Um, which we should do that one pretty soon too.
Yeah, honestly, I
Um,
realize I like that movie so much more than The Descent.
yeah,
Like watching The
no,
Descent again, it's
definitely.
like
Proof that As
I
Above, So Below is a
appreciate
good
the
movie.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Proof that As Above, So Below is a great movie. Shaw doesn't get into horror movies, especially ones like that. Like that's not
yeah,
her shit. But we watch it like annually. Like there's random
yeah.
nights where she'll just be like, "Hey, you want to like throw on that As Above, So Below?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" All right, sure.
Fuck yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I got way off with that, but oh yeah, she finds the next passage and they have to crawl through it, and then like she hears the laughing again. And then I know that she's very behind due to the laughing freaking her out. And she gets stuck, which was a crazy scene to me. Also, again, kind of reminiscent to As Above, So Below. When was it Benny, the camera guy, the black guy? He gets stuck with crawling through the bones. While like the people are down
yeah,
like below them wailing and shit. Yeah, it was like, but like that movie did a way better job of showing how scared he was. That scene makes me fucking uncomfortable, to be honest. This one, I was kind of like, I know she's going to get out of it. I didn't know Vinny was going to get out of that fucking shit. So
yeah,
that too, when I watched that movie, made it a lot more terrifying because it wasn't obvious that he was going to get out, and he damn near didn't. Uh, but this one, it was kind of scary just because I just would never be doing something like that because it's fucking horrifying. But
yeah,
even the way that either Sarah or no, Sam or Rebecca gets her to calm down is telling like that corny joke about making the limit. How do you make the lemon have an orgasm? You tickle its
yeah,
citrus, and that
yeah,
that made her calm down enough to. I was the joke didn't really land for me, and it was just kind of a waste of. They could have really made us terrified of the tight spaces because shortly after that
yeah,
joke, the cave collapses, and after like the dust kind of settles from that, Sarah's unconscious, and they just kind of slap the shit out of her to wake her up, like really hard, actually. And I was just like, bro, I'm pretty sure that's not how you. I mean, whatever, but yeah, they slapped the fuck out of Sarah to get her awake. Um, what does it say? Juno's big villain reveal. So I meant to talk about how they're now lost because the cave collapsed, and someone says to Juno like, "Hey, where's the map? Like, where's the guide? We need to figure this shit out." And then Juno tells them, "Yeah, this is not said cave that I told y'all it was because it had a name. I forget what the fuck it was called, but." This is not that cave.
well, and
This
then
is
I think
something
it's the
that
Borman
hasn't been
Caverns.
explored yet. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So this isn't that, but this is something that hasn't been explored yet. So we're kind of
yeah.
screwed down here.
Dude, that's
Um,
fucking insanity. The idea of going to a cave and no one knowing that you're there, like that's
yeah,
insane.
which
Like
is
that's
my
beyond
thing on
believable.
why that's why Midsummer works for me so well as a horror movie too, because nobody knew where the fuck they were at. Like that's a terrifying premise, the ending of that movie. Um,
Yeah.
And then also it was the same kind of thing. A friend of theirs knew what was happening and invited them over there for that wild shit. So kind of the
Yeah.
same thing now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, Gino reveals no one's been down there. There's a lot of rattling noises and Sarah is scanning the area with the flashlight, which those scenes did have me on the edge because I didn't know if it was time for them to show anything yet or something was gonna pop out. But I got nervous every time she flashed those lights around around the cave. It's almost like she wanted to see something.
Yeah.
So they get done fighting with Juno, which I would have beat the hell out of Juno myself personally. That's just insane to do. Um, they get to they
Yeah.
get to a cliff where they can't walk, and it gets kind of like Temple of Doomish. There's no more passageway. Um, so they drop a stone to see how far it goes, and that stone falls for so fucking long. I don't even think they bothered to throw a flare down there. Um, so they realize
Yeah.
they're gonna have to climb across. Um, I don't know the terminology for this cave climbing shit, but they have to attach a wedge to the ceiling and connect harness and rope through it. And someone has to manually go first to make a way, which was either Sam or Rebecca. One of them makes the way. Um, and they discover an older wedge when they get all the way across. They discover an older one, and then Juno notes that it looks like it's hundreds of years old. So they do find out
Right.
someone has been there before, but like fucking forever ago.
Yeah.
Beth is the one
Makes me
that
think of the
finds the painting,
Goonies.
and yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Chester Copperpot or whatever.
yes. So Beth finds the painting in the cave. She just barely sees it and she asks him to light a flare, and it's like this whole fight, which you already lost. Might as well just listen to any kind of plan. So she finds a painting indicating that there's another exit, that there's two. What did I write in parentheses right there? Oh, I thought they were out of flares. That's what I wrote. I thought they were out of flares because they didn't light one when they dropped the rock. But like I just said a few minutes ago, I think the rock just fell for so long that there's nothing to see in with the flare down that low. So um, then the scene cuts to oh no. We finally see a creature kind of in the back of the shadows like drooling and foaming at the mouth a bit. Then we cut to Juno using the lighter to find a passage through. She finds one, and Holly like jumps through it like a fucking animal or something. Like they're steady telling her to slow down, but she starts running because she sees daylight. Um, which they all yell at her, "No, stop! It's not daylight," and she falls through. And they said it's like the light hitting the phosphorus that makes it look like daylight. Um,
Yeah.
so she falls through, and this is where we get our first bit of, oh, not our first, really like our second bit of like really bad gore. Um, because Holly's bones are sticking out of her shins, kind of like in an outwards V. It was some
Yeah.
pretty good
Thanks.
practical effects on that. It looked nasty as fuck. They had so we get that whole scene of them having to set her leg, um, and then kind of having to push the bones back in and make a splint and everything. And I'm honestly surprised she didn't pass out because I think somebody more than likely would have because that was a lot to go through, and then to also kind of have to limp through the cave afterwards. So Sarah sees something out there, but nobody believes her. And then I jumped the gun earlier, but I have written here they explain the whole phosphorus on the rock thing. Still not believing that Sarah's seen somebody, even though it's the second time she said it now. They go to the infrared camera on Holly, which is another one of those cool effects that I liked. It looked kind of like it made it look more found footage, which was kind of cool. And then like we finally see, oh yeah, we finally see a creature, and they all like kind of finally believe Sarah and start freaking out. But they throw away the flare that they were using. So I guess they thought it would be better to hide in the darkness, but I would assume the flare would keep them would keep the monsters or whatever the fuck kind of at bay, and they could also be like weaponized. So
Yeah,
I did know I thought it was kind of
exactly. Burn
stupid that
'em.
they threw that one. And this is where,
Yeah,
like I said, they haven't given these girls much to do during the movie. So like, I'm pretty sure around this point I paused the movie to see how much was left, and there wasn't a whole lot. So I'm like, okay, now we're about to get into to where like they're all about to die, like they're all about to get killed off. Um, and it happens quick. And um, I mean, I took some extensive like play-by-play notes on the kills, but it's getting late and I don't want to read all of this shit. But I was right. I paused it. There was maybe about 20, 30 minutes left. And yeah, these things come out and just start like just ripping these girls to pieces. Um, I think Holly obviously is injured. She's the first one to go. Everyone else is like injured, but they escape and get like separated. I do
yeah,
want to find these notes here because okay, maybe it's not that extensive. I'll go ahead and run it through. So one of them jumps on Holly and like bites her on the neck right away. It's she's spurting blood out of her neck and she's dead. Um, One of them kind of fights with Juno over Holly's body, which I thought was kind of weird, but I think it was supposed to be shown that it was kind of human or letting us get a look, letting us get a good look at it or whatever. But it was kind of fighting over Holly's body with Juno, and then another one comes in and um jumps on Juno's back while the other one drags Holly's body away, and Juno kills it with like one of their climbing axes. Um, there's an infrared scene where we kind of see it through Holly's camera that was dropped. Pretty gory. Sarah sees the creature speeding on Holly. Um, Sarah's almost discovered, but she's hiding at some point. So she almost gets caught by one of them. But Juno yells out, just calling the girls' names over and over again, which draws the attention of the creature. Rebecca and Sam um, find out that the creature is blind because it comes face to face with them and leaves. But that walk you were talking about earlier comes back into play, and the timer goes off, almost gets them killed again. Um, we go back to Sarah, who makes like a torch out of some shit she finds down there where she got separated to. Then we go back to Rebecca and Sam. Um, And the way they kept having them turn around, I knew at some point when one of them turned around, there was going to be something there. But having the creature be upside down, that did throw me for a loop. It got a little a jump out of me. Um, and she's Rebecca's almost killed, but she's saved by Juno, who has turned into um like Daredevil or some shit with the axe and the torch and shit. It was just like she comes
yeah,
out and just like, which I guess once I mean I would assume in a situation like that, the adrenaline's pumping, you just killed someone for the first time. I guess you go all the way in, or like you either want to survive or you don't. The whole fight or flight thing. But yeah, she turns into like fucking Daredevil with these things. She's like snapping their necks and stabbing them in the
Yeah,
shoulder blades and like
you
all
can tell she
kinds of
really lives
shit.
for it. She didn't want
Yeah,
to, but she fucking loves it.
exactly. And then there's the instant where I didn't write it down. That's kind of crazy. I didn't write it down, but in the midst of her daredevil craziness, she swings an axe and turns around at something behind her, and that something behind her was Beth. Um, where her axe goes through one side of her neck and pops out the other side completely. So like Beth isn't gonna make it. And she kind of just leaves her there, bleeding out,
Yeah,
like no mercy kill, no nothing. She just leaves. Which we've already established, Juno is not a good person at all.
right.
What does that mean? It's been a few days. I don't know what these notes mean. Yes, I do. So there's a weird scene where like Sam, uh, they just killed all these things. Man, I thought it was kind of a pointless scene that the movie didn't really need. But there's a scene when the girls are kind of regrouped and they're getting ready to move on, and Juno was like, "No, which one is it?" She's like, "Sam, like, what are we working with here?" And Sam like feels the creature's face and starts like saying like it's obviously blind. They use like sound like bats, like nothing that she would know by feeling its face. I mean, it's made pretty obvious in multiple scenes that they hunt by sound, which is why they've been trying to be quiet when they're around them. It was just like some Dominic Toretto shit, like reconstructing fucking car crashes in your mind in the middle of the fucking road and shit, and being able to find out who was driving it and all that kinds of craziness. It just seemed kind of dumb. We didn't really need it. And there was also no backstory to it as to why she would be able to tell the creatures like hunting abilities or whatever. They find that there's a way out. Juno kind of says that like, hey, we need to go back and find Sarah first. The movie cuts back to Sarah who finds Beth, who is still alive somehow. Um, but like just barely though. And she revealed, I wrote down my husband's name here right at the end, Paul. Um, when Juno left, I guess she dropped a necklace that Paul gave to her. And Beth tells her like, hey, don't trust Juno, she's not good or whatever. Tells her that she killed her and that she got the necklace from Paul. But then she asked Sarah to kill her, um, which was another wild scene, which I think this scene here caused Sarah to have her Daredevil moment, having to kill her friend and knowing that her other closer friend um had been sleeping with her husband for God knows how fucking long.
Right.
They I don't really want to do all these. I don't really want to do all of these play-by-plays. Um, Pretty much from here on out, the girls are just picked off one by one until um, it's pretty much just Juno who is left alive. There's some pretty tense, like gory scenes too. Some throats being slit open with like the monster's claws. Sam is actually eaten alive at some point. That was a disturbing one. Um, After seeing that, Juno finds her way like to some water to avoid one. Well, there's like a dead one floating around, but when she gets close to it, it opens its eyes and grabs her, and she pulls an axe from out of its rib cage, I think, and rips it across the body to finish killing it. Um, So I wrote Sarah. Oh no, no, no. I skipped over this right here. That was a cool camera effect of them being underwater, and the blood from the wound, um, which Juno killed the monster underwater. There's a shot of like the blood leaving its mouth while it's floating. I did note that. I like the camera work on that. It was a pretty cool shot. Um, Sarah and Juno meet again, and Sarah asks her about Beth and if she saw her die and all of this stuff, and basically just testing her to see if she's going to lie, and she lies. To which Sarah then um, opens her hand to reveal the necklace that Paul gave her, which it's never spoken on, but like you can just tell that Juno knows that Sarah knows everything. And then Sarah's kind of holding the axe up in the air, and um I kind of thought maybe it was going to be a fake out to where we thought she was going to kill Juno, but there was really a creature behind Juno that she killed. That's what I thought was going to happen. But she drives the axe through Juno's knee, actually, and leaves her for dead to go find her own way out. She finds her way out. Um, what is this? This is all notes. I just basically said all this stuff pretty much. Yeah, so she stabs Juno in the knee with the axe, leaving her for dead. Juno was like surrounded by creatures. It's not really sure. I'm not really sure if she survived or not because there is a Descent 2, which I don't think I actually ever watched. Well,
Yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
I
say I
watched it.
just found out about
I
it
think
this
I
week.
Yeah, I think I briefly watched it once. Like how I was telling you the other day, I watched this like at a Bears party drunk. Um, and I hated it actually. But I was clearly like 21 and drunk and not really paying attention to it. And I think we ended up watching the sequel at some point, which is why there's notes in here that I skipped over because the reveal wasn't in this movie. So there's some stuff I'm remembering that's pretty gross that must be in the second movie that made me realize something in the first movie was even more disgusting than what we thought. But we'll get to that when we get to the Descent 2. For right now, all we know is that Juno may or may not be alive and that Sarah found her way out of the cave. Again, lots of crawling on bones, reminding me of As Above, So Below, because the way she gets out is there's like a hill, like a mountain actually of bones, kind of leading up to the area where the dead moose or whatever was found, or I don't fucking know what it was, but the dead animal was found at the beginning of it because at some point while they're in the cave, somebody realized, oh, the paintings that they find, they realize, oh, they go up there to hunt. So there's all these animal bones to crawl over. She like zombie reaches her hand through the dirt, comes out. She finds the truck. There's another accident, like another car accident fake out after she's in the truck, but the car just honks and swerves around her. She rolls her window down, sticks her head out the car and like vomits and like cries a bit. She rolls the window back up and looks back to over to the passenger seat, and there's like a ghostly woman figure there, and then the credits roll. Um, there was an alternate ending, but I don't want to talk about it because I think it's low key spoiling some shit from the second movie. Um, so I'll just leave that at that. But that is it. That is the descent. We
Yeah.
finally got it recorded after like a week. Um, what did you think overall now that we covered everything, spoilers and all?
Honestly, I feel like the main thing that I was thinking about when I was watching this is that it's such a 2000s movie. I feel like
Exactly.
movies' attention spans have gotten shorter. Like it seems like there's like less small talk. There's less little moments. There's less I don't know, like everything just like kind of sped up and like everything is like a main event somehow. And well, on the one hand, like that kind of sucks. On the other hand, like I was saying earlier, that I wish there was a little bit more like wittiness and like lighthearted moments. Like this movie would have benefited from a little bit more of that, but then also at the same time, um, it just has a slower, like a noticeably slower type of pace. Like
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like
and
nowadays, if they made this, they wouldn't have spent as much time as they did before entering the cave.
yeah. No, no, there would have been. Well, well. It's 50-50 because some horror movies still do that though. Like the last Conjuring that came out, the light-hearted moments and giving them they gave them too much character. It was I felt like I was watching the Fast and Furious. It was just about family, like the whole fucking time. I was like, God damn, like is this a horror movie or is this like uh some kind of rom-com? Like I just it was they gave too much personality. They needed to dial it back in. I don't know what's up with the Conjuring series and fucking uh Elvis. Like I don't that shit's weird too. But um and then I just saw The Passenger and I kind of had the same complaint to where there wasn't enough character to to a certain person. Um, in case we talk about that, I won't really say much on it right now. But there's a certain person in the movie that they didn't really give a whole lot to do. Um, and I honestly thought this person was going to die at some point during the movie. We were only going to be left with one character, but it didn't go that way. And they gave that character time to redeem themselves later on, but it was like the descent. So it was kind of a it was a build up to it. Like they made you fucking wait way too long, I
Yeah,
thought. Um,
that,
but yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same. I felt like it suffered from just any type of character for some of the girls. And then two, it was especially if it was just going to be, it was just like five just generic friends. Like I just didn't, um, like I said, it was, you're introduced to five people right away with pretty like basic names like Beth, Rebecca, and Sam. Like I couldn't really keep up with who was who was my
yeah,
biggest complaint around the first watch. But like I said, they were really just there to give us like some good kills later on and
right.
to be a little bit of a backstory for Sarah. Because like if you watch it again, for me on the second watch, I did notice some like small talk, not much character or emotions from them, but like you catch lots of like foreshadowing and and things of that nature.
Right.
And like some holes are filled or whatever just through some of the small talk, but the scenes are kind of boring, so you're kind of not really paying attention to it. But there are some things that are covered, but the payoff was worth it because like I said, I could have went a lot more into detail on a lot of the kills, and I got to get back in touch with what YouTube will allow you to show as far as recordings and like the guide. I need to get familiar with the guidelines on all that types of shit
Right.
too, because I would really
Yeah.
like to show some of these kills. I would have liked to have gotten to show some of them, but that's something I'll look into and maybe add some in for this. But I think for this first one, it's late. I wanted to have this uploaded by yesterday. I think I'm just gonna maybe cut out the part where we lost connection for a bit and then just
Yeah. Yeah.
upload just the raw. raw conversation just to get something out there. But
For
I
sure.
mean, I did like the movie. I had to like kind of scold like 21-year-old me. I was like, man, actually the movie actually holds up. It's it's just that, and there goes the headphones. They just died. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right.
I,
So, yeah, like it was like a boring opening kind of, and then like that hook scene, like with the kill, not a physical hook, but like the scene to hook you, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the opening kill was cool and dark, but then it was just kind of boring, and it felt like it took them a while to get into the cave. Um, which is why I felt like, and this could be me reading way too much into it, but I feel like that's why they went ahead and showed Juno hiding the map because there was nothing else really going on. So they tried to fill it with lots of foreshadowy conversation. But I mean, besides
right.
that, I mean, I think that's really my only complaint. But the kills paid off. The reveal of Juno cheating, even though I thought it was obvious, like off the rip, but that reveal scene and the tension paid off. Um, Beth's death, which we find out she wasn't really dead because Sarah finds her later and has to kill her upon her request, to not just be left bleeding out. That worked. The infrared camera showing Sam kind of getting fed on, like that all worked. The underwater monster that looked like it had fallen in the water dead that came back alive and Juno jumped, like a lot of it worked. It was just in the later half. And I'll give it that because most horror movies to me, I go into it giving them the benefit of the doubt that the ending is gonna suck or be rushed in most horror movies.
Yeah,
I go ahead and give it a sucky ending, but I liked the ending on this one, and I liked what I read that the the alternate ending was supposed to be, and I think either one of them works if you're going to for sure do a sequel. So um, we should we should watch individually The Descent 2 and maybe jump into that one next, and then do As Above, So Below. That's just kind of what I'm what
yeah, I'd be
I'm
down for
thinking
that.
right now. Um,
Yeah,
same schedule though, man. Pretty much every Tuesday and Saturday I'm off. Even though these next two Saturdays I have shit going on at night, but during the daytime I'll be free. Um, so let's just kind of, I guess,
yeah. This next
I'll text
Saturday,
you when I finish watching it, and then we'll just kind of stay in touch for another day to record.
for sure. I was gonna say this next Saturday I'll be busy. I'm traveling to Austin for a day for work. Um, but yeah, after that I'm pretty much off the rest of June.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be busy these next two Saturdays anyway, but yeah, I'll let you know when I watch the sequel, and then we'll get together on a day to record the next one.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down to even just like pull up a phone call and just like talk about it as we're watching it and then record later.
Yeah, but since we're going to review it, I would rather us watch it individually so that our
Okay.
thoughts
Get our
aren't
own
like
thoughts.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because we both smoke and talk way too much. We end up we'll like fuck around and talk the whole podcast, and it's like, damn, that could have been like a good hour and a
I get
half
you.
conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let you need to get my ass to bed, but I'll let you know when I get it watched and ready to record.
Okay, for sure.
All
Be
right,
down.
all right.
You cut out a little bit. What'd you say?
Oh, I'll just say it later.
Can you
It's
hear me?
kind of lagging a bit, but
Oh,
I'll
okay.
see you.
All right. Yeah, you froze. I was say you froze for a second there.